The next thing that we're going to move into is starting to make frequency tables, histograms, tally tables, different ways of displaying a set of data, okay? Visual displays of data. We did a box and whisker plot before. That was a visual display of data. You could look at it, you could tell certain things about it, right? Well, here we go. What we're going to do is we're going to make what's called a frequency table, okay? A frequency table is something that it takes a bunch of data and it gives us an idea of some range of the data, like how many are in a certain area. I'll show you what I mean. First thing that you always want to do when making a frequency table or a tally table or any of these things is you should have a label. Okay? So number one, you should have a label. And if you were lucky like me, you can do this. Otherwise, you guys just got to write it. Move that up a little bit. Okay. Next thing we got to do. Frequency. Anyone know what the word frequency means? How often something happens. Okay? So what I want to do is I want to come up with certain ranges. For example, I've got the number of representatives per state in the United States House of Representatives. Okay? Well, I want to know how many times out of the 50 states that are there, how many times we have between 0 and, what do I want to do, 5. Okay? So let's count them up. How many times does between 0 and 5 happen? Well, we got 1 there, 2, 3, 4. Let me know if I miss one. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, right? 22 times. So that happens 22 times. Now the next thing that I want to do is I want to come up with another range. Now it is so important, now I want all of you to really pay attention to this. It's so important that your range is the same as the first one. I mean, the same amount. Okay? So, should I do 5 to 10? 5 to 10? 6 to 11. Why? First of all, why wouldn't I do 5 to 10? Why wouldn't I do 5 to 10? I already have 0 to 5 here. So then how would I decide, would I put 5 in this area or in this area? I don't know. So 5 to 10 isn't going to work. Also, 6 to 10 won't work. Why? It's not the same amount of numbers. Because 0 to 5 is 5 numbers, right? There's 0, there's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4, there's 5. There's actually 6 numbers there, right? 6 to 11 is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. See what I mean? So you have to have the same amount. So 6 to 11. Well, let's just keep going with these ranges. Okay? So then I'm going to go what? 12 to what? 17. And count them out if you have to, because you know you have 6 numbers, right? It's okay to use your fingers. Okay? You got 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. You want to get 6 every time. So then I want to go 18 to 23. And then I want to go 24 to 29. And then 30 to what? 35. 6 to 36 to 41. 42 to 46. Right? 47. 47. $48 to $53. $54 to $59. Okay. Now, why did I decide to stop there? By the way, I mean, how did I decide? I mean, did I have to go by sixes? No. Did I have to start at 0? I at least had to start at 1, right? Okay. Why did I stop over here at 59? There's no number bigger than 59. In fact, I don't think there's any number that's bigger than 52. So I think I probably could have stopped right here at 53. Okay, I didn't have to do any more than that. My other question is, why don't I just make a range? 0 to 25 and 26 to 52. Yeah. Okay, the smaller the range, the better idea of the data that I'm going to get. Because if I just go 0 to 25 and then like 26 to 51 or whatever, I'm just going to have 2 groups. I want to have more than 2 groups. I think we should at least have, like, when we're measuring all this data, shoot for like at least 4. Make sense? So we're going to make range. We're going to make this. Okay, so how many are between 6 and 11? Let's count them up. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Does that seem right? Boy, that got rid of most of them. 12 to 17. Okay, nothing there. Nothing there. 1, 2, 3. 3. What about 18 to 23? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of those. What do we got left? Let's circle them. We got that one left. We got this one left. Is that it? 31. Okay. So 24 and 25, this is 0. 30 and 35 has 2. We got 0 here. 0, 0, 1. 0. All right, cool. Look at that. There's our frequency table. That's how you make a frequency table. It's not very hard. The hardest part of that, Dylan, is figuring out what your intervals, that's what these are called. These are called intervals, 0 to 5, 6 to 11. The hardest part is figuring out what intervals you're going to do and making sure that your intervals are the same amount. And that's actually pretty simple. All right. So with all of this data, something else that the next step I'm going to have you guys take, and you're going to do this for your homework, is you're going to make what's called a histogram. Remember the very first beginning of the year we talked about a histogram with the thing, right? Some of you remember. Okay. We're going to make a histogram. A histogram looks a lot like a bar graph. It's very much like a bar graph. Okay? Except what we're going to do, the first thing we have to do is we need a title for our bar graph. Okay? You guys are going to wish that you were able to do that. Okay. So we need a title for our bar graph. The next thing we want to do, a histogram has two things. Up and down is always the frequency. Okay. You're going to remember all this, by the way, all of you that aren't writing any of this down? You're going to remember how to do all of this? The next thing you're going to have is basically, look at this, the number of representatives. Number of reps. Then we're going to have to come up with a frequency. We're going to have, what's the largest frequency we had? How many? 22. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go up by 2s. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. I'm going to even label it 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. Okay. So basically, frequency means how often does it happen. Then I'm going to have to make my little histogram. Okay. So my first interval that I had was between 0 and 5. And how many did I have between 0 and 5? I'm going to actually just do this. We had 0 and 5. What was my next interval? 6 and 11.
Interruption. There's a Chevy Trailblazer in the student parking lot with the lights on.
12.
The office. Thanks.
What did I have? 12 and what? 17. Then my next interval was what? Help me out. 18 to 23. Then my next interval was what? 24 to 29. Then what? 30 to 35. 36 to 41. 42 to 47. And then 48 to 53. And I'm going to stop there because I know I didn't have anything after that, right? Well, I know, but it was still a 0. Okay. Now, here's what you do. I had 22 of these bad boys. So basically, you make a bar up to 22, and then you color it in. And make it nice and pretty. A lot prettier than I'm making it. Okay? I would prefer that. That would be good. Okay. Next thing we do. How many between 6 and 11? How many did we have? At 18 of those? All right. So make a line at 18. Now, your normal bar graph, and I expect that you guys are going to be using a straight edge and making these really neat. I cannot do that on the smartboard, or the whole thing will go crazy if I try and put a straight edge up against this. Okay? So I can't do that. So that's what I want. Now, the other thing is many of you are like, well, wait a second, Mr. Eichmann, you should have a space between those. Not with a histogram. Okay? I don't want any space between those bars. They're going to stay right next to each other. Okay? Yes? You mean like the next one where there's 3? And then I go in between. 2 and 4, right? That would be like right here. Just go halfway between. Is that about halfway between? Or does that look more like it's on 4? So you go halfway between for 3. It's up to you. You decide. But here, and I want you guys to pay attention to this too. This is super important. Notice I went 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, and 24. I followed the same pattern. I didn't jump. I didn't go 2, 4, 6, 8, and then jump to 20. And then go to 22, 25. You have to keep it consistent. You have to have the same numbers. If you go by 5s, go by 5s all the way up. If you go by 2s, go by 2s all the way up. If you go by 1s, go by 1s all the way up. If you make this thing so that it doesn't have the same number, if you're not going up by the same number, your histogram is going to be skewed. It's not going to look the way it's supposed to look. Because if you make a jump, let's say you're going up by 2s and then all of a sudden you change to 5s, the top half of your histogram is going to be actually smushed. It's shorter than what it's supposed to be. Does that make sense to you? So we have to always go up by the same amount. You can't break that graph. All right? Now, how many did we have between 18 and 23? 4? Okay. So we're going to go back up a little bit higher. Color that one in. We didn't have anything for 24 to 29, right? So we leave that one alone. How many between 23 and... We had 2 there. Okay, so we just go up a little here. And then we had 1 way down on the other end, right? So that just goes up a little. Okay, that's a good question. I said there was not supposed to be spaces. Well, I have spaces because this space right here is reserved for between 24 and 29, and I don't have any there. And this space is reserved for 36 to 41, and I don't have any, so I can't put anything there. Yes? No, I don't. I was just doing that to demonstrate. No, I do not want you to put anything in here. I want it blank. Leave it empty. Okay? So those are all things you have to have. You have to have a label, your frequency up the left side, and your frequency has to go up by the same amount every time. You have to have a label down in the bottom. All right? Also, like I said before, you have to choose. You're going up this left side. The hardest part about this is making this choice. Now, if I would have gone up, if I would have just gone by 5s, I would have gone 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. I'd be done by the time I reached like this level. I don't want that. The bigger this graph you can make, the better. The more you're going to look at it, the better representation of the data you're going to have, because people are going to be able to look at it and get a good idea of it. I've seen people do this where even with like this set of numbers, where your numbers are anywhere between 0 and 50, and I've seen people make intervals here starting at 0. They go 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Let's try and stretch that out a little bit. Maybe go up by 5s at least. Or I've actually seen people between 0 and 50 go 0, 25, 50. Okay? Don't do that. Please stretch it out a little bit. Okay? I'm going to give you a set of graph paper that you can use to be able to make this histogram. Okay? All right. So that's making a frequency table and a histogram. There's 2 other quick things that I want to show you that are actually very, very easy. First of all, making a tally table based on the color shirts in the 6th grade. First thing I'm going to do is my label. What should I label this? How about color, or t-shirt color in 6th grade? Shirt color. In 6th grade. Beautiful. This is super complicated. What are the 3 colors that we have? Red, blue, purple. One red, next red, 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 red. Look, this is the complicated part. That's it. Okay, blue. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. Did I miss any? Then we got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's it. That's easy. Making a tally table. Simple enough. Please do not make this mistake. Please do not make this mistake. Notice it says a tally table. Okay? Please don't make this mistake of counting up those things and then just putting the number 7 in here. Please don't do that. Please make the tally marks, the little tick marks. Okay. The other thing is, please don't do this either. For 7, don't go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Please don't do that. Any ideas why we make number 5 the cross? Makes it easier. I mean, if you're going up to 100, you can count 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, and so on. Makes things a lot easier. And the very last one that I want to show you is making a line plot. Making a line plot. Okay? This is our data right here. This is our number line. So you have to make a number line. First step, make a number line. So we are anywhere between, what, 3 and 10? So I'm going to just 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'll just stop there. Okay, watch this. This is the complicated part of making a line plot. 8, 8, 3, 5, 6. Oh, got an 8 again. 5. 5. Okay, some people, let me explain this to you. It's a way of looking at data. Looking at that, can anybody quickly look at that line plot, tell me what my mode is? Dylan. 5 and 8. You didn't even have to look at the numbers, did you? You can look at that line plot and go, my mode's 5 and 8. You can also look at it and get a good idea where your median's going to be. Where about do you think your median's going to be?
6.
Probably about 6. You know your middle is going to be probably right in here. Okay? Which also is probably going to be about your mean. Because you don't really have any outliers, do you? It's an easy way to look at data. It helps you visualize about where everything's going to be. You can easily look at that and figure out your range. What's your range? 7. You can do it without looking at any of these numbers. You can leave all of that alone. You can look at that tally table, and you'd be able to figure that out. So if you see these tally tables and these kinds of things in newspapers, or anybody that's trying to point out statistics to you, you can look at these types of things and you can figure all of those out without actually doing a lot of the math. That's why we make these kind of charts. All right. What I'm going to have you guys do for your homework is you are going to do page 316. Numbers 5 to 8, all. Sit down. Sit down. Between 5 and 8, all. Now, one of those problems, you actually have to make a histogram. Number 5, you have to make a tally table of the kind of pets. You have cats, you have dogs, you have birds, you have fish, and you have hamsters. Make a tally table. Number 6, you make a line plot just like this. Except, let me explain this to you. You guys, please listen. It says the number of Olympic medals won by 27 countries. You have anywhere from, 8 to 97. You have to make a number line between 8 and 97. Now let me tell you this. Do not go 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and then jump to 50. That's not how we count. Also, do yourself a favor. Do not go 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, all the way to 97. You can go by 5s if you want, or go by 2s if you want. Turn your paper the long way and do it the long way. Yes. Yep, if you go by 2s, put it in between. If you're going by the even numbers, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and let's say they have 7, well, obviously you put it between 6 and 8. Okay? And go by 5s. That's fine. Go by 5s if you want. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. For number 7, it says use the data in exercise 6 to make a frequency table with intervals. There's your frequency table with intervals right there. This is it. So that's what you're looking at for number 7. And then for number 8, you have to make a histogram so it looks like that. I will give you a piece of paper. You can make your histogram on the piece of paper, on the graph paper, and if you want, you can do all the other homework on the back. It's up to you. Okay?